Okay guys, so Wisp is one of the best support frames in the game for the fact that her first ability, which you can cycle through 3 different abilities, can stay indefinitely in the mission. Um, for the best showcase, I'll just go to the simulacrum to show you what the abilities are. Okay, just give me a second.
The multitude of creatures you have immortalized would cry out in thanks.
Okay, so let's have a talk about the abilities first, and then I'm gonna showcase to you guys what they do. So first ability is one of the abilities is Vitality Mode. It adds flat HP and it gives HP regeneration. Basically 10% of the flat HP that it gives, it will regenerate per second. The second mode is Haste Mode. It will increase your walking and jumping speeds, and also it will increase your fire rate. The third mode is the Shock Mode. It's a CC ability. It will shock up to 5 targets within 15 meters with the unmodded, with the 100% chance to proc electricity. Her second ability is Willow Wisp. You can basically fly around with her second ability. Also, if you can read, it says time invulnerable. When you use this ability, you are invulnerable for 3 seconds. Unfortunately, this number cannot be modded. Her third ability is Bridge Surge. It's a AoE nuke basically, and it has a flat status chance and damage multiplier, which can be modded further on. And her fourth ability, Soul Gaze, it's a pseudo exalted weapon which cannot be modified by anything. It will do damage per second, it will consume energy per second, and the synergy with Soul Gaze is if you have all of the 3 mods on you, the damage will be increased by 50%, and you will also deal corrosive damage. So let's showcase the abilities on the corrupted heavy gunners over here. So you just tap and release to switch your targets. So the first ability is, see, I had 300 health, now I have 600, and it will say how much health per second I will get on the top. The second ability is, it will increase my walking speed, my jumping speed also, and my fire rate. And other abilities, it will hit up to 5 targets. It will constantly hit them, and and it will CC them. Basically, they will not be able to move. And if you have this proc on yourself, it will hit also enemies with 100% chance to do electricity damage. The second ability, if you just tap and hold, it will see my health bar is gray now. It will give me invulnerability, so enemies will not be able to damage me. The best use case for this is when you have the mods on yourself, and you will be able to just regenerate your health. The third ability is AoE. When you go to the enemies, it will blind them for a short period of time. When you kill them, they will release costs and they will go hit the other enemies. And the fourth ability is you just fry the enemies, and when you hold it more, it will consume twice as much energy, but it will do twice as much damage. Even unmodded, it is able to kill 145 level enemies. So, as for the build, guys, I would recommend you to go with full strength and as much duration as you can go. I would suggest to unlock the Exilus mod slot to put Power Drift if you have, guys, or something to increase your melee damage. Steel Charge is recommended because it gives one of the most amounts of capacity, so you will be able to fit in more mods. If you have if you are MR 8 and plus and you have unlocked the subsume abilities, actually what Wisp lacks is in her support role. If you want to play support, she lacks damage. So I would highly suggest you to add Roar or Roar for quick missions when you are not moving as much, and I would suggest you guys to add Empower. What Empower does, it will further increase your strength to with 50%, and because her first ability can stay in the mission forever, you basically have infinite, almost 400% strength on her first ability. Let me demonstrate. So without Empower, I would get 1892 total health, and when I would use Empower, I would go up to 2000 health, which is very useful in the scenario, and it will also increase basically everything with strength. I would like to showcase you guys. Okay, let me for a second unequip my dog so he will not interfere. So basically what you do in the mission, first thing is you activate all your motes, so your squad mates, and you will benefit from them. Also note guys, it is not suggested to stay still because the enemies will kill you quite fast even though you have 103 health per second regeneration. So the synergy with Wisp is you just approach the enemy. If you have hard hitting weapons, you just press your 2 and let it go, and you just munch on the enemies. They have CC from your second. You can always just use your second and be invulnerable. With passive, okay, I will put the AI to move now so I can demonstrate with passive. So I'm unpausing the AI. Basically what will happen now, if I keep jumping, I'm invisible. And after I stop jumping, the invisibility is like 1 second. So if I just keep jumping, they are not able to shoot me. If I stop jumping, they'll start shooting me. If I just start jumping again, see? They will be confused and nothing will happen. Okay. Okay, let's see. Do you guys have any questions so far? Yeah. Okay guys, if you don't want to talk, you can type the questions in course training. I will answer the questions. Okay, so how you access Empower is you need to be mastery rank 8. You need to do the Heart of Deimos quest. You need to rank up to rank 3. Then to talk one of the NPCs, he will sell you a module. You install a module to your orbiter, and you can remove one ability or have a unique ability like Empower, or remove a fixed ability from a Warframe. You can further look it up on the wiki. For instance, if you subsume Wisp, she will give her Empower ability, and you can have one. For instance, Roar is from Rhino, and some of the buffs will be nerfed. For instance, it will say altered diminished damage increase. Usually this much strength would give me almost 200% damage increase, but in here I have only 104%. Any other questions, guys? Okay, so what weapons I recommend using with Wisp? So if you have maxed the mods or almost maxed your mods, you will end up with 100%. It will say fire rate, but it's also attack speed. So what you can theoretically do, you can remove any attack speed mods from your weapon, and it will still be moderately fast. So any slow hitting weapons, also weapons that you prefer to use a heavy attack with, work. For your, you can use any slow weapon basically because she increases the fire rate. Also, what you can do is, so I would suggest you guys to remove her fourth ability if you are into subsuming, because her fourth ability, Soul Gaze, even though it can delete the enemies, the drain per second and the drain in general is quite high if you go with negative efficiency. So it is really not advised to use the Soul Gaze, because with this much duration and this much strength you can have, for instance, 1 minute of a buff which is constantly on you, even though it costs a lot. Also, another gimmick with Wisp is if you, let's say, have a companion and her invisibility also works on the companion. See, the companion will just go invisible with you and they will not attack enemies while they are invisible. So that's a nice tweak to the AI which was made recently. You can aim glide. Aim gliding will grant you invisibility, but if you have a hard landing, it will instantly remove your invisibility. Any other questions? Well, you can. For instance, I'm using the same ability. But by the way, guys, you can put up to 6 motes. And if you want to put the 7th one, the first one that you ever place by time, it will vanish and it will be replaced here. So theoretically you can cover 2 territories with your Wisp. And this ability, it doesn't have a timer. And even if you go into a nullifier, this will just stay here. They are basically permanently there. So okay, let's go from here. I will show you the, I will not show you the mission, like I will not go into the mission how you farm her, but just know you need to do one of the quests, and that quest will unlock a mission called the Robolo list, and all her 3 parts and including her blueprint, they drop from Robolo list with the equal chance of dropping. I think blueprint is a bit more common to drop. And then you just go and craft her in your foundry. As you can see, you need primarily hexanon to craft them. So you need at least 1400 hexanon to craft her. She requires nethane, which you can get from the night wave while it is here, and until like it will end. The argon crystal and tellurium you can get from any mission that says submersible. The enemies will have a chance of dropping tellurium. And the main blueprint needs only 3 orokin cells to craft, which is quite cheap. So if you've been playing the game for some bit, you will have a stockpile of hexanon just laying around. The best place to farm hexanon is just taking your squad to Jupiter and doing this mission over here. It has a resource drop chance affinity from boosters basically. So you just take your farming squad and just come here, Cora Necros. It will take few hours maximum to get that amount without any boosters. Yeah. Oh yes. Thank you very much. So basically, any noise will break the invisibility, as Felidax has pointed out. So theoretically, you can do spy missions with Wisp, but she is not laser proof. And unfortunately, as of right now, we do not have any augments for Wisp to alter her abilities. So the only way to change anything is just is to subsume another ability. You guys have any other questions? Basically, just know these guys, Wisp can pretty much solo 99% of this game. You can even take her into Steel Path if you use the synergy with their second and their first. Every squad will pretty much be happy to have a Wisp in the squad because permanent support. But I think that's it from me, guys, if you don't have any more questions. She is not a very hard frame to master. All you're just gonna know is her first has unlimited duration, and for 80% of your gameplay with Wisp, her first ability will be the one that you will be using. Thank you very much. Thank you for showing up, guys. Bye bye.